Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Russian Tier 10 Premium Tank Destroyer, the SU-152 Taran. Now this is a tank destroyer that is, just to be honest, completely filthy. It's really expensive, but it's really goddamn filthy. Because for some reason, we have a lot of tanks that have 850 Alpha, right? That are TDs. And for some reason this tank, they just decided, you know what? We're going to make it, obviously it's got pretty decent mobility, although it is sluggish to get up to its top speed on flat. It's got no armour at all to speak of, it's HEable really easily. But it's got utterly filthy camo. The camo on this tank is absolutely disgusting. And the gun is just utterly, again, beautiful and disgusting in itself. Because it's the 268 version 5's gun. But they decided to give it 950 Alpha instead of 850 for absolutely no reason at all. And it reloads really, really quickly, which means your DPM is absolutely nutty as well. And when you slap people, you slap them for a lot. Now, 825 on that light tank was a low roll. You can roll above 1,000 quite easily, quite a lot in this tank. It is dirty. When you get yourself into a position where you can just keep farming and dropping shots in, it is disgusting. 974 again on the Tiger 2. Yeah, like I say, it's beautiful when you get yourself into that position where you can farm shots in. It's best played at a distance. Try not to be too aggressive with it. Play at distance, use concealment, use your camo, and you will have a great time and have a lot of damage from it. So in terms of a crew on the SU-152 Taran, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, Camouflage Expertise, Silent Driving, and Muffled Shot. Camouflage Expertise and Muffled Shot to make sure that this gun, well, should I say, make sure that this tank can stay unspotted for as long as possible. Reducing my camo after firing is always nice to have, especially on a tank that does rely heavily on its stealth. Silent driving to make sure I can get to position and not get spotted and not have that impact my camo anywhere near as much as it should, which is nice, again, and it's exactly why I want it on this tank. And then steady aim to make myself 10% more accurate, and run and gun because I do take shots on the move at times, and it's really filthy hitting shots on the move in this tank. Although the gun can be derpy, I will put that in there, and it's not always advisable to shoot on the move. It can hit shots on the move, and like I say, I do like to take meme shots, so I always like to make myself 10% more accurate while firing on the move. It's what it is, down to preference. To be honest, if you're going to play it further back like you probably should, you're better off to take snapshot instead of run and gun, and make the gun better when you're turning the turret, and make the dispersion better, because you're going to be turning the turret a lot, so, you know, logically it's better to take that, but I take run and gun. Personal preference. And yeah, in terms of equipment, I run rammer, camo net, and optics. Optics, again, to be able to spot my targets at decent range, and therefore there's less chance of them being able to spot me and get within my spotting rate distance. And then camo net to make my filthy ass camo as good as possible, and rammer to make the absolutely incredible DPM on this tank even better. Yeah, this tank is pretty ridiculous. Like I say, it's ridiculously expensive in one way. It's also ridiculously good. As you see me slap a 7058 in the upper plate for 999. Woof! Those sorts of rolls are satisfying to see. They're so massive. It's great. You've got 303 pen on the standard AP, which is enough to pen everything you're going to face. And then you've got like 395 heat pen, something like that, which again is just disgusting, and you're going to pen everything with it. Like, no problem. And then you've got like 1,100 damage on your HE rounds. If you see waffles or grillers or even another Taran, you're going to hurt them so badly firing HE. It hits so hard. Yeah, this tank's great. So in terms of this game, we're on Redshire, and most of our team is on the other flank, and a lot of their team seems to be here. We've managed 5.3k damage so far, and this SU-152, it's not an SU-152, it's an SU-122-54. Get it right, scrub. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't actually pen that guy. We ended up tracking him on the move. Should have probably stopped and aimed a little bit, but to be honest, we had to get out of dodge. Their whole team just decided to push in, and yeah, we had to get out. Most of their team's on our flank, and most of our team's on the other flank, and somehow our team hasn't managed to push through yet, which is slow going. We have to keep running here, because otherwise their team's going to catch us and shoot us, and that's not good. So we're just moving in between these buildings so that hopefully we will stay away from them. But now we're unspotted. It's like, okay, I'm going to try and poke around this building and see if I can get a shot into this Jagdpanzer, because he is going to hurt when he hits us. We want to try and get as much health off that guy as possible. He gives us a big shot into his lower plate, so we slap that in for 915, and then we go hide behind this building. But unfortunately, we get slapped up by a medium tank that's gone down the K line, which is really unfortunate. That's hit points that we need. We've put ourselves up to 6.2k damage. Now we're unspotted. We're going to poke around the corner again, see if we can get a shot into the Jagdpanzer. We can't quite, but we do get a shot into the side of the VK 168.01p, or whatever you call it. It's the unskinned Mauerbrecher. And we're up to 7.2k damage, and this is a rolling retreat. We have to keep moving and getting ourselves into a better position, a position further away, so that we can stay unspotted and use the filthy camo and use the strengths of this tank. And what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves into a dip over here so that we can try and get side shots at this medium tank and all those along the 4-5 line. But unfortunately, I'm also the one that was spotting them, so they actually get unspotted. And we're in a really awkward position. A lot of this game has been spent feeling like I've not had much help, and it's one of those annoying situations where you're always feeling like you're in a bad position. You're always having to run away. But we're in a good little dip here where we managed to be unspotted, and now this CS-63 is poking on this side of the hill. And it's like, okay, Mr. CS-63, I can reverse up here. Make sure you're always reversing this tank if you're going to poke up, and then slap that big shell. 1022 into the CS-63. 1022! Sometimes the rolls are just dirty. And most of his hit points is gone now. There is the Jagdpanzer progressing over there. Someone's got into our cap. Now, I can't go at this point. I want to go back to our cap, but I can't because they've got tanks closing in. That CS-63 is in a position where he's just going to shut us down if we try. And unfortunately, we bounce off the lower plate of the VK 168.01p. Somehow. We're now reloaded. We're looking for a shot into the back of the Jagdpanzer, so he stops threatening our team. And I'm thinking, right, I've got to start going in a minute to go back to the cap. But we've got 50 seconds. We've got enough time. I can't still go, though, because that CS-63 is probably waiting. And then the second one gets in the cap, and it's like, oh, no. That'll be the CS-63 that's run away. There's no chance of me getting back to this cap now. That's it. We're done. Too much dilly-dallying, and we've lost this game. So we're just going to make sure that this shell's all the way aimed in so we can slap it into the lower plate of the 705A. And nope. We're not allowed to pen that because the shell derps high and doesn't pen the 705A. Is what it is. We end up losing the game, unfortunately. Finished with the defeat. We came third on the MVP screen. 2 kills, 8.4k damage. Sniper, high caliber. 863 base XP on a loss, which isn't too bad. But 8.5k in the Taran. And unfortunately, we just couldn't fire enough to keep us going in that game, and they unfortunately capped us out. But that's one of those games where you just need a little bit of help to keep being able to get that win. And our team just didn't push through the heavy tank flank quick enough, and we just ended up getting done on the cap. So we're in the second game, and we're on Prokhorovka. Now, Prok is probably one of the dreams for this tank, because you can get yourselves into a deadly position, stay stealthed up because the camo on this tank is utterly disgusting, and people will keep presenting you shots into the sides and the side turrets, and you can keep slapping them up for like 950 to 1,000, right? Because that's what this tank does. And yeah, this tank is disgusting in situations like this and on situations like Proc, because let's say you've got good view range if you run optics, and then you've also got absolutely dirty camo, and if you use this position here that we are in, you can be able to shoot people as they come on top of the ridgeline. Now we make sure that shot's fully aimed, and we slap it into the side of the IS-3's turret and shut him down for the first kill of the game, which is nice. Now this EBR-90 is coming in. It's like, oh, leave me alone, EBR-90. He's got bad view range, though, so he's probably going to struggle to spot us. Instead of going for the risky shot of the EBR-90, we get the shot into the side of the OHO's turret, pen him for 900-odd. And this is, again, this is what this tank is good for, and this is what these sorts of positions are good for this tank. 1,004 on the Charlemagne and set him on fire. Oh, that poor guy. We get spotted, and as soon as we get spotted, we're running away. Now, that is key for using that position we were in there on C1, D1, is that we were turned around, ready to run backwards as soon as we got spotted. If we were facing forwards there, we were likely to take a lot more hits and would have had to drive in front of a lot more people. Unfortunately, we hit the EBR-90 a minute ago as well, and only did the wheels in. Is what it is. Wheelie boys tends to happen, but he's lost most of his hit points now. Just looking for a shot on the cupola of the 50 TP, seeing if we can hit it, seeing if he comes up any further on the ridgeline, but he doesn't, so I decided, you know what, I'm not going to go for it. But now he presents us the side of his turret, and 1,009! Oh my lord, the rolls are on fire. That is dirty rolls we're getting right now. We're up to 3.9k damage in like 4 shots, something like that. Yeah, dirty. He's poking up again. We actually have his side, and we finish him off 889, which is a low roll. So, yeah, that's this tank. It's absolutely dirty. And like, if you get yourselves into a filthy position where you can stay unspotted and just keep the gun working, you're going to have a great time in this tank. So there we managed to get the shot into the EBR-90, shut him down. As soon as we get spotted, it's move, run, so that we don't lose any hit points. But now the light tank threat is gone and the ridgeline threat is gone, we're going to probably be a bit more aggressive now to push down this line. This IS-7's out in the open, so we slap a big shot into his lower plate for 900 odd. We're up to 6k damage in, yeah, 6 or 7 shots. That's what the Taran does. And now we've got this light tank with us in front of us. It's like, okay, light tank, you go spot, I will feed you assistance. We're just being careful on this ridgeline, so what we're going to do again is turn around so we're ready to run at a moment's notice, and we're going to start backing up along here. Because we're possibly, because we've got decent view range, we're possibly going to spot anything that's sitting along this line. We are seeing shots fly down the 2 line, and using our camera, we will be able to put in some big shots. So again, we're ready at any point to make the run, to just run away if we have to. We're just looking for shots at the 257 maybe that's in the middle. Can't quite see him. We boost our view range with food. And we see the 1390 look. He's making a move. Possibly might spot something, which is what we want. And it's like, please 1390, go on. I will feed you, bro. There we go. Foch-155 gets spotted and a 268. Aim for the lower plate, the 268, slap the shot in. Because it was going to be a kind of awkward shot at the Foch-155 down there to pen. So we're just making sure we get the full pen into the 268. But now we're nearly loaded. It's like, okay, let's fire at this Foch. And straight through his lower plate, blind, and shut him down. The 257 is now on top of the ridgeline. We're just waiting for the reload. Let's say just how quick this tank fires for 950 alpha is just dirty. We get the shot straight into the side of the 257. We're up to 8.3k damage, and we shut down that guy. We see that TD is still alive back there, so we're just waiting for the reload, waiting for the light tank to spot him up again so that we can pump the shot in to hopefully finish that guy off. There's only artillery left. There's the heavy tank and the medium tank who are on the other side. And it's like, okay, there we go. He finally gets lit up. We're aiming, slap the shot in. 747. Again, it's a massive low roll, so we were always going to kill it, and we shut down the 268. And we're up to 9.1k damage in the SU-152 Taran, which, yeah, it's the Taran. It specialises it. There's a reason that if you search YouTube for Wotconsole and you look for the Taran, you're going to see dirty games left, right, and centre in this thing, because it slaps so hard, so consistently, so fast, that it just does massive damage. And it's just an utterly ridiculous tank. It's far too expensive, and it should never have come into the game like it is. But it's one of those tanks that's really strong and really powerful, right? But in a sort of newbie's hands, it's not, because it's got no armour, and yeah, it basically, if they play too aggressively, they're going to get slapped up. But in experienced hands and players that know how to play stealthy TDs, they're going to have a great time, and it's just way too powerful. So we finished the game with 804 assistance, 9.6k damage, 7 kills, 804 assistance, Devastator, Ace Tanker, Top Gun, High Caliber, Sniper Medal, 1790 base XP. A nice game for the SU-152 Taran, an absolutely filthy tank, and yeah, it's just dirty. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.